Oh my god! Look what's behind me! I got a big trailer! What happened? Oh my god! I'm out on the road. I've just picked up a load of concrete blocks. I had to swing in here, being careful not to hit that gate post there, thus making the unit tight up against there when it's turning. And now I've got to get back out of here, so I'll go straight, then crank it so I don't hit that post again, or that, or let me tail swing it that. And it was a tight yard for me first. My trailer, where I hooked up, was tight. It was in between two wagons, and the trailer was parked slightly screw with, so I couldn't get straight on. But I did it. And now I've just picked up a load of concrete blocks going to Warrington. So we're on the road, we're doing it, we're in for a penny. Catch you later. See how tight that rear end is. And I've got to watch me headboard. On there, look. And we're out. Champion! Okay, this is the first load that I've delivered successfully. I'm here and I've just had to pulled up in between that trailer on the left and the lorries on the right. I've had to do a crooked reverse into here, but the way I did it was like how I did my reverse exercise on the test, because if you look at it, it sets itself up very similar, where you start off on the right, you got that B-cone where the edge of that trailer is, where it says T6. So yeah, full crank right, get the trailer rear end poking in the way I want it to go, and once it's going in that direction, then getting back under the trailer, straight line, then full turn the other way so it straightens up. So I had a bit of a shunting down here because I didn't want all this stuff at the side. So for a new driver, this is a little bit intimidating, all this stuff here. You know, it's just stuff to clip and what have you. You don't want to do that. Certainly not on your first day on Class 1, right? So yeah, that's what we've done. That's the first drop today. Alright, isn't it? And this is the wagon. Beautiful to drive. I drove the Class 2 version of this. The operating systems inside it are very similar. Right, catch you in a bit. toes. Watch your toes. Go on. That's it. And I gave him some signals in return, and he pulled in front of me and he slammed his brakes on, and he did it 3 times. Well, I can tell you, if he'd have done it a 4th time, I'd have rammed his van off the road, because I want to braked again. So I wish I'd have had that on camera. He'd have been straight in court. Just some people get so mad about things. I had a guy this morning. I pulled onto Bingham Island, Saxondale Island, and I was in the right hand lane to go all the way round. I got onto the island, I saw a Luton van coming down towards me, and he wasn't going to stop. I could tell by the fact that he wasn't looking for a start off, so I just eased off the gas. Then he caught me out the corner of his eye, and he's professional. No, what would you call it? Oh, what's that word? Begin with P. Not provisional. That's no. Peripheral. There we go. I know I get there in the end. Caught me in his peripheral, and he anchored up, but he knew he couldn't stop, and he come straight out in front of me. I didn't flash him, didn't beep him, didn't put my fingers up at him. He got halfway around the island in front of me, flashed his hazard lights on, put his hand out the window, as well to say, "I'm sorry mate, my bag." And that was the end of it. I didn't chase him down and thrash him. I didn't report him. I didn't do anything. Just let him go on with it. He made a mistake. Had it been a push bike, it could have been a lot worse, but I'd watched him. I clocked him. I was on it. It was fine. We won't cry over spilt milk, okay? And that was the end of it. He made a mistake. Just like we all do. No, I just don't get this whole road rage thing. Yeah, so I hope Jay turns out alright over that one, because I know that the trolls can do the worst. So, but yeah, that was bad, that was. Somebody slamming the brakes on like that. I hope it wrote his car off. Then they'll tell the insurance company he won't get a bean, and he'll get prosecuted. He'll lose his licence for that. I'm absolutely sure of that. So, yes, stay tuned. There you go. There's a lead. Not that Jay leads any leads. He's got about 10,000 subscribers or something. No, not quite a few. But Yes, very interesting. There's so many roadworks and restrictions, and I know it's only restricting us to 50 mile an hour, which is not a big deal when you can only do 56 at the best. You never do 56 in these. It's always 54 or maybe 55. I've not come across many trucks that will do a steady 56. What I don't get is though, legally we're allowed to do 60 miles an hour. So why are they restricted to 55? Or 56, rather? My driving instructor said to me, because he used to be a transport manager, amongst other things, years ago, and he says what they do, when they have these restrictors set, they put old tyres on the back that have got virtually no tread left. And then when the wagon has new tyres put on it, it'll go faster, because obviously a bigger wheel. Just because it was set up with worn tyres on. And I always wondered how some of these wagons just seem to pass me like I'm stood still. Now you know. Okay, we're having you, Wobble Box. You're mine! Victory is mine! He's just bought that. Still got stickers in window. Do you know what? I sold my caravan, but I didn't have a new caravan. You would have to be out of your bleeding tree to buy a brand new caravan. Those caravans there, 16 to 18 grand. They top out at about, well, top 25 grand. A real decent one. But you imagine the holidays you'd have. If I had one of them, I'd have to be out here every weekend to get the money's worth. I used to have a caravan, an Eldest. We used to call it Eddie. We name everything in our family. Don't even ask me why, but we do. But I wanted a boat for when we go to Cornwall. So I've got a Zodiac. You know, like, you know when you watch the news and you see the firefighters going up the middle of the road when it's flooded in one of them bright orange ribs. Well, that's what I've got, with a little 7.5 ton 7.5 ton? That's ridiculous. 7.5 HP engine on the back, Mercury. So I had to sacrifice something. I sacrificed the caravan and I bought a ruddy great big tent. It's 7 metres long and 5 metres wide. We don't go camping, we go glamping. We've got a settee, TV, oven, microwave, kettle, the whole shebang. That's it, you move over, darling. Thank you for your kind understanding cooperation, Mr. Mocker. Yeah, all the kit. Because truth be told, and don't tell my wife this, but I'm not very keen on camping. I'd sooner go in a caravan. First time we used it last year was in Cornwall, and we went a bit later because of my tests on my class 2. We didn't go in July, we went in August, and it was rammed. Everywhere you tried to get to, there was a traffic jam. could be. The weather was absolutely lousy, a bit like what we're getting at the moment. We went down middle of August, and it literally, on one particular day, it started raining at about tea time, and it didn't stop until about 1-2 o'clock the next day in the afternoon. So, and it wasn't just like a drizzle, it was torrential rain all that time. So you can imagine what happens to the campsites. God, nobody could get out of that bottom field, and it was an awful campsite anyway, because what the campsite didn't tell you, and just to let you know, if you ever go down to Cornwall and you're looking for a campsite, if you go down into the Lizard, avoid a campsite called Chai Khan. Yeah? I don't like naming and shaming companies, but their response to us when we complained was absolutely despicable. The manageress had my wife in tears, calling her rude and whatnot. My wife's never been rude in her blinded life. She wouldn't know how to be. So I know that was a crock. I mean, I wasn't there when they had the set to. But they basically put us on the low field, so it rained and we couldn't get off. Which is not their fault, granted. That's not the beef. The beef was that there was an awful stench. We'd smelt it while we were pitching up, but we carried on, we set up everything up. It just got worse. And it was like, what is this? And we said to them, what's the smell? Oh, well, it'll be stagnant water in the ditch, in the drainage. It'll go, they said, it'll go. And in people's reviews, because I always go onto these review sites and whatnot, I take them with a pinch of salt, mind, but I always look at them. And there was 1 or 2 people moaning about a stench, and they always flippantly said, oh, it's just an occasional smell. Occasional on my backside. It's only next to a blinking sewerage system, you know, like these round concrete jobbies filled with stones, and they have like a water spout going round spraying it. It was one of them behind, in the next field behind the hedge. They know damn well what's causing that smell, yet they're still piling people in that bottom field. Yet some people say, oh, a lovely campsite, great views, and it absolutely was. You open your tent door if you're on the top field to an amazing view, but down on that low field you were next to this ruddy stench. Well, if it was my business and I couldn't do anything about that storage thing, then I'd close that bottom field. You know, I wouldn't want to ruin people's holidays. I wouldn't sleep. Folks spend a lot of money on them. So yeah, I left a review. So yeah, that's why I have no bones about naming and shaming Chai Khan, and just avoid it. Oh, he's picking up speed now, you monkey. He's in a much more powerful Volvo, and it's just levelling off at the top of the M62. The highest motorway in the country. It's official. What was it like coming up here? Well, I'm not stood in the traffic jam anyway. Another hill, I'll overtake it. I've got an hour and 10 minutes left of this drive period. I'm hoping I'm not having a long day today. Here's that famous farm, one that's stuck in the middle. He has to go out through a tunnel under the motorway. God bless him, he still made principles. Oh, that must be awful. I couldn't sleep there. They're driving absolutely batty. Even at night, I mean, there'd be enough traffic to make it noisy, wouldn't there? There it is, look on the right. Built it round him. I'd have loved to have been in there on that board meeting. I bet he's not alive anymore. A long while ago, wasn't it? But yeah, there it is, look. In fact, it don't really look very lived in, to be fair. It might be. No. I dare say it's not lived in anymore. Cracking view down there. Right, I'm going to shut up now. Alright, I've got verbal diarrhea today. I did try having a conversation about politics with Mr. Patterson, but he was having none of it. I picked up on I watched his latest vlog and I picked up on a smile he made after he said that we'd left the EU, and I'm really concerned about the whole thing myself, and I'm a strong believer that the grass ain't always greener, and if it works, if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. That's how I look at it, and things aren't always like they seem on, you know, face value. So yeah, he smiled, which indicated to me that he might have voted to exit, as a lot of people did in the northeast, and a lot of people in Cornwall, Wales, and Devon. They all voted exit. But what amazed me was, because I was delivering furniture, I couldn't even vote. But when we got to this woman's house, we were talking about it, she got the telly on. She said, I can't believe it, I can't believe we've left. I went, no, I honestly, when I woke up this morning, did not expect that result. And I'm not trying to make my vlog political or whatever, but I think it's an important piece of history, this is. So yeah, immediately, like Farage and his crew were coming on and said, they were asking the questions about the NHS getting topped up then, because we're not sending £350 million to Europe anymore, to Brussels, which we weren't anyway. We were never sending anywhere near that figure. It was closer to 190 million, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but what that entitled us to do, and the money that come back to us, they didn't speak of, the exit crew. So they won the exit on 2 points in my mind. One point was the topping up the NHS with the money that we're not sending to Brussels, and number two was immigration. Now that's all the media have banged on about for the past 3 or 4 years, is immigration problems and how many Eastern Europeans we've got living in our country. Well, I can tell you as an absolute fact, they're only here because there's jobs for them. I deliver to a lot of manufacturing places, and these people are doing jobs that our lazy buggers won't do. They're not taking our jobs, that's for fact. And a lot of the food industry, like sandwich factories, salad factories, vegetable prep factories, chicken plucking, all those rubbish jobs that people don't want, they're coming and making an honest living. They get up in the morning, they're reliable, they work hard, they go home, they pay their taxes. Do you know what? Good on them. They're welcome in my mind. And the industry's thriving because they're earning the keep. Absolutely. I mean, they talk about these migrants that are coming over and claiming our benefits and sending that. But of course I've got a problem with that. Of course I have. Who wouldn't? I have to be mad. But Cameron addressed that, didn't he? You know, they were given it where they had to pay into the system for, was it 3 years before they can take it out? So it and in actual real terms, the amount of immigrants doing that is a tiny percentage, tiny. And the amount of money that we're talking about is almost not worth speaking of. So yeah, although that part of it upset me, I didn't believe that, you know, and they're not going to close the borders down or anything. You know, Boris Johnson saying, oh, well, you know, we still want to trade with Europe. It's like everybody's backtracking. They said they're not going to be paying into the NHS fund because the funds aren't there, and they're not going to be shutting the borders down. You know, because Boris was banging on about going onto an Australian point system. Now that point system, the way it works in Australia is, if you've got a trade, like let's say is that you've got like a medical trade, you're a doctor of some description, you'd score highly for something like that. It's something that they need in their country, so you'd stand a much better chance of getting in. Whereas if you were just a labourer, like a lot of the Eastern Europeans, and the Eastern Europeans are not just doing the menial tasks, they're also bringing professional skills into across our health service and everything. So if you're coming in with just trading on your labour, well, how many points is that going to score you? Seriously? So I don't understand how they would maintain that influx of staff. People recruit, are actively, they have offices in parts of Eastern Europe recruiting. So yeah, either those that voted exit are either very, very brave and they saw something that the rest of us didn't, or it will turn out to be a mistake. You know? But nobody can tell you whether it is a mistake. Nobody can tell you whether we've all done right and wrong. The whole campaign was so confusing. People just didn't know what to do. They jumped on the fact that the Brexit team were going, oh yeah, we'll sort the migration problem out. We'll sort the borders out, no problem. We'll cap the limits. And people thought, yeah, well, that's what we need. We're filled to bursting in this country, and we are. And I believe that we need to do something, active about it. But hey ho. So yeah, nobody's in the wrong, no matter which way you voted, because the campaigns were awful. I'd say the exit campaign was a much better campaign. I've seen a lot more flyers and posters, etc., saying leave than stay in. The in team really did themselves a disservice. Do I think we needed to lose a Prime Minister over it? No, not particularly. You know? Who are we going to get? Boris? Well, that man's got to give him his trust in him back now, because now I don't believe him. He's tracking. Nobody got it wrong by voting whichever way. They just weren't given the right facts, I believe. The reason for me wanting to stay in Europe is I like the idea of a common market. I like the idea of trading freely with our neighbours. I like the idea of labour change, free labour change in the European community. I like that. If I want to go and work in Germany, I can go work in Germany. There's no borders closed to me. I do like that. Yeah, that part of it, I shall miss. Basically, the reason that I would have voted Remain is because people with more knowledge than me in the matter were advising me to stay. All of the financial institutions, all the big company bosses, all the political leaders, they're all saying Remain. They're all saying, look, the pound will be effective, and so far it has been. It's exactly as George Osborne stated it would be. But for how long, none of us can say. None of us, not a human being on this planet. But if 90% of the experts in this field are saying to you, look, we should stay, it's a system that works, etc., then I think we should have trusted them. If you walked into your shed and found a bomb, and you called up the bomb squad, and you said, look, I've got 30 seconds left on the clock, and I've got 3 wires, red, white and blue. If the bomb disposal expert said to you, whatever you do, don't cut the red wire, you wouldn't cut it, would you? You'd listen to him. Well, that's my point. It's like, oh well, let's cut it and see what happens. No! Yeah, that's all I want to say on the matter. Don't feel bad no matter what your decision was, whether you voted in or out. I don't think any less of anybody. That's not what my channel is about. But I really did want to just talk about that. It's been weighing on my mind.
I hate, keep linked.
And Mr. Patterson, I put you a warning up before I start my political rant. Just so you can skip. I'll turn it off for now. Catch you later. Toodles! I tell you what I did invest in. Yesterday. I know how this conversation is going to go. You're going to laugh at me in a minute. Yesterday, me, my wife and my son, because we're going on holiday, we've got 2 rabbits. One lives outdoor, Willow, in a stately home of a hutch that I built for her. The other one, Jeffrey, lives indoors. And my brother-in-law is going to look after Jeffrey. So we scooped him up, put him in the back of the car in his cage. He's got a mobile cage, Jobby. and we went to go down the A1 to Peterborough, and the A1 was closed. Apparently a tanker lorry had hit a caravan, and there was a car involved as well. Nobody killed, which is sound. You know, metal bends, but it'll bend back. So there was no fatalities, which was good. But the accident happened at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we come to go over there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, long story short, because the rabbit was a little bit stressed out about being in the car, we decided to find another way. And I hadn't got my map on me. Got my sat nav, but he just wanted to take me to the A1. So I went to 2 garages looking for a map. No, it was until I got to the 3rd garage, and I could have bought one of the £2.99 cheap AA jobbies. But I bought this one, £10, which is a lot of money, but it's a lot more detailed than the regular maps, regular atlas. Yes, it's a very good map. Let me show you. And that's where we're going. We're going to Cornwall. Now normally we stay down here, this area. In fact, we stay not far from Mullion, the Lizard in Cornwall. For those of you that don't go to Cornwall very often, or don't know Cornwall, quite like I do, and we know Cornwall really well, well, that's a really pretty part of Cornwall. Nice place to stay, it really is. This is all nice here. Penzance, right round to Land's End, that's always nice. The Minack Theatre, oh man, if you ever get the chance when you're down Cornwall, because nowhere's really far in Cornwall, literally from one end to the other, if you ever get a chance to go to the Minack Theatre, do it, and just learn a little about, I can't remember the lady's name that built it, her and a gardener built it, but the story is so inspirational, it really is, proper give you goosebumps, you know what I mean. She used to pilfer building materials off the beach. She used to go beach combing because they used to get a lot of wrecks around this part, and it used to get washed ashore, and it's illegal, but she used to steal the flotsam and jetsam to the beach and go and build whatever she needed to build. Her and her gardener, little old lady, bless her. What was her name? Anyway, yeah, you ever get the chance, you pop down there, you'll enjoy it. There's some beautiful places. But yeah, but look at all the detail. All the roads are on there. The only thing you haven't got is the minor roads. They're not. But there's enough detail there to keep me out of mischief in this lorry. So yeah, I decided to invest in something a bit more substantial. Very good. Share that with you. Toodles. Sit rep. I did my drop in Warrington, and then I've come all the way down to Rotherham. I've got a collection here, and then I've got one more collection, it's pallet network, pick it up a load, and then it'll be back to the yard. Originally I was going to go back to somebody's yard and drop the trailer and then take the unit back to the yard, but that's all changed now. So yeah, not a bad day so far. Things going up. They've asked for me back, so that's pretty good. Let's finish the day how I intended it to start. So I've got to pull in forwards here. I mean, this would be tight in class 2 I mean, I could get a class 2 vehicle turned round here, but it'd be tight, especially if it was a 26 tonner. So there's no way that I'm going to turn this down here. And if you look in my mirrors, you won't see me on the mirror, I don't think, but row of parked cars there, same the other side pretty much, and there's nowhere to turn around and reverse down this street, so I've got no other option but to drive forwards, so which means I shall pull up forward over there, and then he'll tip me on one side because it's not heavy. You'll find this with loads that aren't heavy, they can push them over, so you only have to open one side of your curtains. Sometimes you get forklifts that are a bit anal and they'll want both curtains open, but a lot of the time they'll manage. But yeah, so then I've got to reverse back out that way, which is fun. But I didn't envisage my first day of going to like big RDCs with lots of room to move around, and my first collection was a tight collection. Very struggle to even get in their yard. Does he want me? Does this gentleman want me? No, he doesn't. But we did it. We got it done. And then there's that drop in Warrington, which is tighter than you'd want as a new driver. But I need challenges. I need little things like that just to build my confidence up. You know. Well, we did alright. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but it's fine. We got the job done and we didn't hit anything, which is always a bonus. I find it quite difficult. I don't know if you see, but you see the wind deflectors? They stick out quite a bit further than the trailer. And I like in the vehicle I trained in, it was a box body, a box trailer, and I could see right down it. You can draw a line down the side, but you can't with this because you can't see it. You kind of got to guess you're going in a straight line. But we should be alright, we shall manage. Slow and easy, no rushing. Well, yeah, I quite like this truck. Happy to come out again tomorrow. I hope I'm in this one tomorrow. We've got lots of buttons that I don't know what do. I mean, look here, look, that one, I imagine. You know, have you seen that brake assist when a car in front stops and you've not noticed? That's what that is, and you can switch it off. Why would you want to switch that off? That's brilliant, that is. Because you only check like a line of traffic suddenly come to halt on the motorway and you're not quite on the ball, which you should be. And hopefully that might just save you bacon. And you've got this one here, which looks like, you know, there's an audible warning that comes through the speaker system that if you start to wander out of your lane, that it goes boo 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 and wakes you up. So that's what that does. But I've got lots of buttons here. I don't even know what does, because it's got an axle on the rear that you can raise, a bit like on the class 2 vehicles, except for this one's on the unit itself. But it does it automatically, and it senses when it's unloaded, and it lifts the axle up, and it senses when it's loaded, and it puts it back down. So no buggering about doing it manually. That looks like hill start assist. What's that? I don't know what that is. I think that's your diff locks. if you on a field or something, when you need traction to go to both. That's your reversing. You know when you're not allowed to, you have to switch that off from 11 at night and 7 in the morning, something like that, if I remember correctly. And then you've got your climate control with air conditioning. Apparently it works very well. I've been reliably informed. Not that I bloody needed it today, because it's, we're in July. Go on holiday this week. It ain't great, is it? It's July. I got out at that drop in Warrington, and I was undoing the curtains, and I was stood in a ruddy great big puddle. I said to the bloke on the forklift, I said, it shouldn't be like this. I said, this should be dusty. You know, my gloves are wet. Put an hole in them already, look. Yeah, it should be better than this, shouldn't it? Hey? But yeah, lots of little buttons that do lots of things I don't know what do. What's that one? Aye up, aye up. Hey! It's like James Bond. That there'll be the sunroof then. Okay, so what's that one? This is all for your benefit. Oh, la-di-da. Now that's fancy. Can you remember that run I did up in the Class 2 vehicle? The Renault. Very similar to this in a lot of ways. I took it to Hull, I think it was. Yeah, it was Hull. And I started off hating it because I couldn't work the cruise control and I couldn't pull the blind down and all that malarkey. It's because it's all fancy pants, is what it is, look. Cracking. And, yeah, remember when I said to you, oh, that's no good. You got a gap. The sun comes right in. Oh yeah, baby. That's what that's for. Oh, wrong button. They've all got these nowadays. These little USB ports. They're handy for various devices. And is there another one? That one. I bet you that one's 24 volt. Yeah, that one's 24 volt. This one's 12 volt. And I do believe, do you know what? I've had a fridge all day and I'm not used to all this malarkey yet. There you go. I can't pull it out because of my bag, but there's a fridge. I can feel it, it's cool. Looks like a telephone back there, huh? But it's not. You've got a 12 volt, 24 volt. You got operation for lights, I think. You got your night heater. You operate the windows from it probably. It's got a bunk up there as well. Look, that pulls down if you're double manning. And no, that's not a euphemism. No. Sometimes you have to have a double man run to get to your destination. It's quite rare, to be fair, but yeah, it happens. What other buttons can we press? Come on, I haven't fathomed the lights out yet because they're automatic. Look, that's for you when you're coupling and uncoupling in the dark. There's your steering lock down there. Look, you've got, oh, I'm sliding away. On the steering wheel here, look, you've got your controls for your stereo, which is all pretty standard stuff. This is automatic and it's up for drive and then reverse, and cancel reverse, it'll take it back to first, and then it's automatic manual, something like, or automatic manual, something like that, I can't remember. Yes. And then bizarrely the mirror switch and the windows are down here, which is a little, it's not ever so convenient, I'll be fair to you. But if anybody knows what these buttons do, I think I've sussed that one. think that could be engine braking. I'm not sure. And we know what they are. They're like sort of, oh, look, watch. Oh. And they don't just switch on and off. Look. Oh. Right, and then there'll be a coloured one. Oh, look at that for mood lighting! Look at that! Jesus! Like Foxy's Palace in here. I have people knocking on my door. Looking for extra services. Red light on, look. How cool is that? Hey, press it again. Oh, and it fades away. Oh. Simple things. Look at all the lockers. Look. I'm like a kid in a sweet shop, me. Oh yeah. Big lockers, look. I bet you could even fit a microwave up there if you were tramping. Fit a microwave up there, no bother. Plenty of room. Put my kettle. I haven't got my kettle, but there's plenty of room. Look, I quite like these Renaults. They're cracking. Look at the seats, and even the passenger has got the armrest and stuff. Quite fancy pants, isn't it? I mean, this one's a rental. The company don't own it. But yeah, I hope you just enjoyed me showing you that, because it's the side of it you don't get to see very often. And if, like I say, if anybody wants to confirm what those buttons are for, that would be good. Handbrakes, like the one on that Renault I had on Class 2. You'd accelerate and push it forward and it comes off at the same time, or just accelerate and it'll turn off. It's a bit harsh, it's a bit jerky if you do that, but you can do it that way. Right, so we're getting through it, and I shall do a close at the end of today. I'll post this vlog pretty quickly, certainly before I go on my jollidays. Just letting you know what day one was like. But so far I've quite enjoyed it. I like being challenged, but I do want to ease into it, you know what I mean? I don't like on Class 2 it was, oh my god, like, you know, you're paddling for life just to get your head above water. It's very stressful at times, especially when everything's new to you. You haven't got a clue what anything is. At least I've had that little bit of experience, that year's experience, which means that I know the form when you turn up to collect or tip. I know the form. I'm not like a little lost sheep. So it's definitely helped me. Even like opening the curtains and stuff like that. I think they're easier on this this Arctic. But when you're doing the curtains up, it just seems to go on forever. Like on a rigid, it's click 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 click. You're done. But they seem to breed. They never run out. But they're easier to put on the curtain on these than they are on the bridges for some reason. And the actual curtain tensioners look a lot more sturdy. Ooh, is he warming up to load me? That's my man, but they're not quite ready for me. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing like recycling containers and stuff like that. Right, so we'll catch you a bit later. Toodaloos. And somebody pulled me up for saying toodles. There's another vlogger. What's his name? Welsh fella. Nice. I don't subscribe to him, but I've watched quite a lot of what he does. And he's top fella. He's experienced though. He's been doing it a long while by all accounts. What's his name? Anyway, you'll know which one I mean. Apparently he says toodles, but I've always said toodles. He's my toodles. Alright. If he wants to say toodles as well, that's fine by me. But yeah, I'm not copying anybody. Okay, toodles. Later. Well, we made it back in one piece, as you can see. Happy days.